Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to bring the October 7th Planning Commission meeting to order. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we please have a roll call?
Scott Hansen.
Here.
Ben Terrell. Lisa Lewitsky. Ray Whitaker.
Here.
Ed Kemp.
Here.
Tim Catron.
Here.
Zachary Dillinger.
Here.
Frank Holmes.
Here.
Brian Ross.
Here. Thank you. Have the proper notices been posted and sent?
They have.
Thank you. What are your wishes for the agenda this evening?
I would move that DCA-10-25-4 request for Deborah and Converse and James Plank be moved up just under CU 10-25-8.
Support.
We have a motion and support to approve the revised agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. What are your wishes for the minutes of September 2nd?
Move the minutes.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. This time on the agenda, there's a time for public comments. If anyone would like to speak at this time regarding anything that's not on the agenda this evening. Okay, seeing none, we will go into public hearings for conditional use permits and DCAs. If we could have the staff report for CU-10-25-8, please.
This is a request by Matthew Myers and Jory Radowski for a conditional use permit to allow for a group home daycare per section 1410 of the zoning ordinance at 5452 Bell Highway, section 24 of Eaton Township. The property is 0.87 of an acre. It is zoned limited agricultural and surrounded by limited agricultural. The land use is residential. It is surrounded by residential and agricultural, same for the site use history for both. The soil class on site is essential. The surrounding is essential and non-essential. Bell Highway is not a major road. The applicant is requesting to operate a group home daycare with up to 12 children. The hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be 2 to 4 employees on site during the hours of operation, depending on the number of children in care. The existing home will be used for the business. The existing well, septic, and drain field systems will be used. Trash is removed by Waste Management. Items to be stored on site include toys, play equipment located in the fenced area. There is one existing driveway to the site. It is not paved and does not have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is 6 vehicles per day. Parking is proposed for 7 vehicles. The parking area is lit. A portion of the parking area is concrete. The remainder will be gravel. The applicant states supplies are brought to the site by light delivery trucks such as Amazon and personal vehicles. The applicants state this request should be granted because there is a shortage of daycare facilities in the area. I do not believe this will affect my neighbors. I will be licensed by the state of Michigan. The application was sent out for site plan review. The Eaton County Road Commission approved had commented. I've reviewed the above-mentioned CUP application and find no impact to Eaton County roads. I have no objection to this CUP. Eaton Conservation District commented. The Eaton Conservation District Board of Directors discussed this application. The board has no concerns about this application. The Charlotte Fire Department commented. We have reviewed the conditional use permit request for Matthew Meyer and Jory Radowski to operate a group daycare for up to 12 children on their property. We do not have any issues with the proposed business or application. The application was approved by the Barry Eaton District Health Department and Eaton Townships. 6 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No written responses were received. Zoning ordinance section 14.10, educational institution and government facility is included on page 2 of the staff report, as is the definition for a group daycare home from Article 5. Also included is an excerpt from Michigan Zoning Enabling Act, PA 110M 2006, specifically MCL 125.32.06, which does require the Planning Commission to issue a conditional use permit for a group daycare home. The property is master planned as agricultural preservation, which directly relates to the existing zoning of the property as limited agricultural. Staff comments. Per the ordinance, daycare facilities are considered an educational institution when caring for more than 6 children and are a use permitted in limited ag zone district with a conditional use permit. Public Act 110 of 2006 also regulates daycares and has been included in the staff report. The applicant states the daycare will be operated inside the home, which meets all setback criteria. Per PA 110 of 2006, the group child care home must have appropriate fencing for the safety of the children as determined by the local unit of government. A fenced area is shown on the site plan. Per the zoning ordinance, parking requirements for a daycare facility are 1 for each employee and 1 for every six children license capacity. The application states that there will be 2 to 4 employees. This will require 6 parking spaces. The application indicates 7 parking spaces will be provided, which are also shown on the site plan. A 24-square-foot sign is shown on the site plan located outside of the Bell Highway right-of-way. The proposed sign meets zoning ordinance requirements. The Planning Commission may wish to use Section 5.3.4D, 9.3.6, 14.10, and PA 110 of 2006, all included in the staff report to determine if the business meets zoning ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. And that completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none, is the applicant here and would like to state their case or add anything to what's been offered by staff?
I do not have anything to add, but I'm willing to answer any questions.
Any questions for the applicant? I guess we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
Seems pretty straightforward to me. So I'd move that we approve CU-10-25-8.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we get a roll call vote.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Jory, your application has been approved. As I already discussed with you, I have your zoning approval for group childcare for your state of Michigan license. I'll have that filled out and emailed to you tomorrow so you can apply.
When staff is ready, if we could have the staff report on DCA-10-25-4, please.
This is a request by Deborah Converse and James Plank for a district change amendment to change a portion of the zoning of the property located at 8850 Lawrence Highway from limited agricultural LA to local business C1. The size of the property to be adjusted or to be rezoned is 0.64 of an acre. The zoning of the property currently is limited agricultural. It is surrounded by local business C1 and limited agricultural. The land use history for the area to be rezoned is vacant. The surrounding is residential, agricultural, and commercial. The soils class for on-site and surrounding is non-essential. Lawrence Highway M79 is a major road. The applicant statement. In summary, the applicants are requesting a change of zoning of a portion of the subject property from limited agricultural to local business. The applicant state the property described on the attached survey as A1, if approved, will be adjusted to parcel 090-010-300-05000, owned by James Plank, already zoned C1. The applicant states the specific reason for the amendment request as Mr. Plank wishes to purchase the property described as A1 on the attached survey to adjust to his property, which would allow for the expansion of his existing store. The applicant states an error was made in the original ordinance which justifies the proposed amendment. Mr. Plank's property is currently C1, so is parcel 090-010-300-03501, located to the west of my property and north of Mr. Plank's property. The applicant states the property cannot be put to a reasonable economic use as it now stands under the ordinance. My property, yes, meaning Ms. Converse's property. Mr. Plank's property, no. Without this adjustment, Mr. Plank cannot become compliant with the Health Department regulations. The applicants state they do not anticipate any impacts to the adjacent roads, county drains, or public schools. They state there will not be a negative impact to the environment or value of adjacent property. The application was sent out for site plan review. It was approved by the Barry Eaton District Health Department. MDOT commented, "Thank you for sending this to MDOT for review. MDOT would not have any comments or concerns with the zoning being changed. Currently, the existing driveway is located within the clear zone of M79. If the property is purchased, the driveway would need to be moved to the east of the proposed parcel and would need to be paved or brought up to current commercial standards." Eaton County Road Commission commented, "I've reviewed the mentioned DCA application and find no impact to the Eaton County roads. I have no objection to the parcel adjustments." Calamo Township commented, "At the regular Calamo Township Board meeting on September 2nd, the Township Board discussed the proposed zoning change for Mr. Plank and was then moved and seconded to recommend approval to the change. The board voted unanimously in favor of the change." The Eaton Conservation District commented, "The Eaton Conservation District Board of Directors met on September 30th of 2025 to discuss this application. They have no comments. Included in the staff, or this 6 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. I have one written response that was received last Friday by mistake of our email was not allowing this person to send it in. The email is from Mr. Jason Thomas. "Dear Eaton County Planning Commission members, my name is Jason Thomas. I live at 100 North Ionia Road near the property involved in the rezoning request, DCA 1025-4 from highway, limited agricultural to local business. I am submitting this public comment ahead of the hearing and decision scheduled for October 7th of 2025. While I understand the intent of the rezoning of the property is for business use, I have concerns about the frequent and disruptive noise from the cooling equipment currently in operation on the site, which supports the refrigeration needs at the store. The noise carries beyond the property and disturbs nearby neighbors. Because the cooling equipment cannot be turned off completely, I respectfully ask the board to require reasonable noise mitigation measures, such as sound barriers or enclosures. This request is not an objection to the business itself, but an appeal to ensure that the proposed rezoning does not increase the burden on nearby residents. Addressing this concern during the rezoning process will help protect the quality of life and rural character of the area. This comment has also been reviewed by and supported by the following nearby property owners: Tom Barnes and Rebecca Stoddard of 118 North Ionia Road. Please include this comment in the public record for the hearing. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Jason and Brittany Thompson of 100 North Ionia Road." Zoning ordinance section 7.3, limited agricultural, which is the existing zoning of the property, is included in the staff report, as is zoning ordinance section 7.51, intent and purposes for commercial property, and 7.5A, local business district, C1. When making a motion on this, the Planning Commission must go through items A through G as required by the zoning ordinance, which is located on page 5 of the staff report. The property in question to be rezoned and adjusted to Mr. Plank's property is master planned as agricultural preservation. Staff comments. The applicants are requesting to rezone a 6.4 acre portion of parcel 090-010-300-06500 owned by Deborah Converse from limited agricultural to local business to allow the property to be adjusted to 090-010-300-05000 owned by James Plank. Mr. Plank's property is zoned local business. Zoning ordinance section 6.7.1D states, property proposed to be created shall be in the same zoning district. Properties proposed to be created that are not in the same zoning district are required to apply for a district change amendment prior to approval. Mr. Plank's property has been zoned commercially and used as a commercial business since at least 1981. The adjustment of the property is proposed to allow Mr. Plank to expand his retail business, which is a use by right, and allow him to become compliant with the Barry Eaton District Health Department. The Planning Commission may wish to discuss if the change requested complies with the county master plan, or if an error has occurred which justifies the proposed amendment. Specifically, the Planning Commission must address these issues as well as items A through G from Section 13.6, which is included on page 5 of the staff report. In addition, the Planning Commission must also address Section 13.47A, Commercial Rezoning Performance Standards, when considering this request. The standards are located on page 7 of this report. And that completes the staff report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Does the applicant like to come up and add anything to that?
I don't have anything to add, but I would answer any questions if there are any.
I have one. Have you heard of the problem about the noise before today? They talked to you about it, the Thompsons?
They have not talked to me about it, no. Not that I can recall.
Are there any other questions of the applicant?
I have one if nobody else does.
Sure.
The justification is calling it an error, so I'm trying to understand the reasoning. So the properties essentially that sandwich the subject property are zoned local business. So you're saying it's an error that this particular one is not? Am I understanding that correctly?
That we're trying to rezone?
Yes.
So can you ask that question again?
Sure. So what, we have to satisfy certain requirements in order to be able to do this. And one
Yep.
of them is what error was made in the original zoning, if any, that would justify this change. So my understanding is you're saying that the error is that the properties on either side of it were zoned this way, but this one was not. And you say that's an error. That
So, so this was obviously all done before my time, but from what I did gather was that at one time it used, maybe, I don't know, maybe this was a misreport. I was told that at one time it was all connected. And then the previous owner split he had to sell land, he was trying to make money or something. So he split a few different ways, and then that centerpiece, the current owner, Converse, he purchased that. And the way I understand it, it was, I don't know, like that's why it wouldn't be zone commercial anymore. They attached it to their current property.
okay, so when it was split, that's the error. Okay, all right.
That, the way I understand.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah.
You concur with that, Brandy?
Yes.
Are there any other questions for the applicant? Sure, Tim.
What is the problem with the Barry Eaton Health Department? It says that this is needed to be done to meet the requirements of the health department.
So the well needs to be updated, and a new septic system needs to be updated.
And so there needs to be room for that to happen.
With our expansion, it would, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Doesn't seem too out of line to me.
Like I say, I just needed to understand the error, but it seems reasonable.
Ready?
Sure. Remember, we have to respond to A through G also. Page 5. What was that? You want-
Prepared for that.
Tim, you look like you're going to say something.
Not sure how to address the air. Well, there's really two problems. One is the health department, the other is the air. Oh. Said I'm not sure how to address the air and include the health department problem.
I'm not sure that it was in error, but things change
Yeah.
over time, and I think this makes more sense to be the current, or be the applied for zoning.
So it's less of an error under point B, it's more of a identifiable condition under point A, that use has changed over time. So the identifiable condition is that, when it was split, it's just use has changed. It's not necessarily an error.
That's what I would say.
Tim, you got it, or do you want me to do it?
I move that we approve DCA -10-25-4 and addressing the items A through G. What, if any, identifiable conditions related to the application have changed which justify the proposed amendment? It seems that in the process of splits and property adjustments, the property did not keep up with the times and things have changed. What, if any, error was made in the original ordinance? I would say no error was made. What are the precedents and possible effects of such precedents which might result from the approval or denial of the action? We have had similar situations before that set a precedent for this, and I don't think it adds any additional precedent. Does the petitioned district change adversely affect environmental conditions or the value of the surrounding property? That's definitely no. What was the impact of the amendment on the ability of the county or other government agencies to provide adequate public services and facilities and/or programs that might reasonably be required in the future? If the proposed amendment is adopted, there is no impact. Services are adequate now and will be adequate. Does the petition district change generally comply with the adopted Eaton County Development Plan? I'd say yes. What is the ability of the property in question to be put to reasonable economic use in the land development district in which is presently located? It will be better put to reasonably economic use. That's it.
Tim, would you find that it generally complies with zoning ordinance section 13.4.7A as listed on page 7 of the staff report?
Yes, I would.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and support, or is there a support? Support. We have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Seeing none, if we could get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes?
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Mr. Plank, your application has been approved by the Planning Commission. They actually recommended approval to the Eaton County Board of Commissioners. The next step is that your application will go before Public Works and Human Services the first Tuesday in November, and then go before the Eaton County Board of Commissioners the third Wednesday in November. After that, we'll have the final decision. You're welcome.
Okay, when you catch your breath, Brandy, and it's gonna take a long one for this, if we could get the staff report for CU-10-25-9, please.
I'm gonna drink water first.
Okay, reasonable.
A request by CP1 LLC, The Quarry LLC, Chad Crandall, Randolph Crandall, Adam and Haley Alvashine for a conditional use permit to operate a commercial recreational facility, a rental venue for weddings, events, and etc., as defined in zoning ordinance section 5.3.3C at 3861 and 3659 East Clinton Trail, 455 South Stewart Road, and 710 South Perky Road, Section 15 of Eaton Townships. The total acreage of all properties is 240 acres. The property is zoned limited agricultural and is surrounded with limited agricultural zoning. The land use history is residential and surface mine. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and a county park. The soils class is essential and non-essential for both the property and the surrounding. South Clinton Trail is a major road. Stewart Road and South Perky Road are not major roads. Applicant statement. The applicants request a conditional use permit to operate a commercial rec facility. They describe the business as, before I go any further, the Planning Commission does have a large-scale site plan in front of them, and their application follows along with that site plan. The business, we wish to operate an all-inclusive event venue business from the property. This includes 3 potential rental spaces, short-term rental cottages, and employee owner housing. Property, if approved, the existing 4 parcels will be combined to 1 parcel. Ownership, the ownership of the property is currently under CP1 LLC, Randolph Crandall. The ownership of all properties will be transferred to the Quarry LLC prior to any construction taking place. Chad Crandall will be the owner of the Quarry LLC with partners Dan Levitt and Thomas Stark. Adam and Haley Alvashine will be the managers of the business. Staff can confirm that as of yesterday, all of the properties are under the ownership of the Quarry LLC. Phases. The site plan shows 6 phases as follows. 1, page C1 shows the entire property plan, including using the existing Stewart Road driveway as a gated service entrance. Eaton County Central Dispatch, local police, and fire will have access to this drive at all times. Several directional signs will be posted on the property to identify buildings and directions to each site. Item C2 on the site plan page C2 of the site plan shows the property address as 3861 East Clinton Trail. In addition to the tree farm, we plan to construct the proposed 75 by 60 pole barn in the fall of 2025. This building will be offered for rent for events. We hope to have the building complete prior to December of 2025 so we can host our annual Christmas on the Farm event. The existing pole barns on the property will be used for business storage, tables, chairs, decorations, maintenance equipment, etc. They will not be open to the public. The relocated silo will be used for decoration only. The existing home on the property will be offered as a short-term rental only, limited to 7 to 10 consecutive days. Page C3 shows short-term rental cottages. Proposed 24 900 to 1,000 square foot short-term rental cottages located off from 2 proposed private roads that will be constructed in compliance with zoning ordinance section 14.28 private roads. This will be a gated community that will only be accessible when a home is in use. Eaton County Central Dispatch, local police, and fire will have access to the homes at all times. We plan to begin construction on the private roads in the spring of 2026. After the private roads are complete, we will begin construction of the cottages. This could take place in 2026. The homes will be located at least 50 feet from the proposed right-of-way, from the proposed road right-of-way. Parking spaces will be 9 foot by 20 foot. The site of the proposed pond overlook is 30 by 20. Construction type and date unknown at this time. The cabins will be offered as short-term rentals only, limited to 7 to 10 consecutive days. Page C4 of the site plan. This is showing the location of the proposed main event rental space. The footprint of the proposed building is 9,100 square feet. The building will be 2 stories with a walkout basement and first floor for a total of 18,200 square feet. 220 parking spaces are proposed. The parking spaces will be 9 foot by 20. All future building and parking spaces will be requested by applying for a change of conditions prior to construction. We hope to begin construction on the building in November of 2025. Sheet C5 of the site plan shows the amphitheater which also may be used as a ceremony space. In addition, we hope to host concerts and community events from this location. We hope to host 5Ks from this property area and will also act as a gathering point for the runs. An open-air stage for the amphitheater is 15 by 40. The area shown in front of the structure is open grass seating. The amphitheater stage may be constructed in a way to allow for storage under the stage. We plan to construct a 19 by 24 restroom building. We hope to begin construction on the stage and restroom building in the fall of 2026. Sheet C6, the existing home on the property will be used as a smaller event rental space for corporate events, baby showers, bridal showers, family reunions, etc. In addition, the home may be used as a short-term rental limited to 7 to 10 consecutive days. The home may also be used to house any entertainers that may play at the amphitheater. The parking shown in the plan will only be used for the rental of the existing home. In addition, we are proposing to demolish the existing barn located on the property and construct a new 2-story 60 by 80 pole barn. The first floor of the barn will be used for storage. The second floor of the barn will be used to house employees of the business. The building will not be offered as rental. We hope to begin construction on the barn in the fall of 2026. Sheet C7, this area is currently used by Eaton Township as an overflow parking area. We will divide the property and donate it to Eaton Township for their use. The property is 200 feet by 250 feet, 50,000 square foot, 1.14 acres, and complies with zoning ordinance requirements for a parcel. The applicant offers the following for the hours of operation, employees, and buildings. For employees, the business will be in operation 7 days a week. Hours for events at sites C2, C4, and C5 may be 7 a.m. to midnight with music ending by 11 p.m. Cleanup for staff is expected to be done from midnight to 2 a.m. Employees are expected to be on site during the hours of operation. The number of employees for each site are as follows. For C2, up to 5, including maintenance employees. C3, cleaning crew of up to 3. C4, up to 20 employees, including wait staff, parking attendants, event coordinators, cleaning, and maintenance. C5, the employees used for C4 will also staff this site. C6, the employees used for C4 will also staff this site. Buildings. Buildings proposed to be constructed are as follows. A 45 by 60 pole barn with covered walking paths on C2. Construction will begin in the fall of 2025. Move the existing corn crib in the fall of 2025. 24, up to 1,000 square feet cabins, C3, begin in the spring of 2026, continuous until complete. A 2-story, 18,200 square foot building on C4, begin foundation in November of 2025. A 15 by 40, 2-story amphitheater stage on C5 to begin construction in the fall of 2026. A 19 by 24 restroom building on site C5, begin construction in the fall of 2026. And a 60 by 80 2-story pole barn with second floor residence on page C6 to begin construction in the fall of 2026. Existing buildings to be used are as follows. On page C2, the existing home will be used as a short-term rental only, limited to 7 to 10 consecutive days. The 2 existing pole barns will be used for business storage. C6, the existing home will be used as a smaller event venue space. In addition, it may be used as short-term rental, limited to 7 to 10 consecutive days. The existing pool and pool house will be available for the use of the renters of the home. Applicants offer the following regarding public health, safety, and transportation, including anticipated traffic. Item 15, public health and safety. On C2, there is an existing well septic drain field for the existing home. We are aware we will need to apply for site evaluation from the Berrien District Health Department to install a new well, septic, and drain field, or look at the potential of sharing the systems with the new barn. For page C3, we are aware we need to apply for a site evaluation from the Berrien District Health Department to install new wells, septic, drain fields for the proposed cabins. We hope to have one shared system for all cabins. Page C4, we are aware we need to apply for the site evaluation from the Berrien District Health Department to install a new well, septic, and drain field for the event venue hall. Page C5, we are aware we need to apply for site evaluation from the Berrien District Health Department to install a new well, septic, drain field for the proposed restroom building. in Site C6, there is an existing well septic drain field for the existing home. We are aware we will need to apply for site evaluation from the Berrien District Health Department to install a new well septic and drain field or look at potential of sharing systems with the new barn. Solid waste removal, we will contract with a waste hauler to provide dumpsters on site to remove the trash. We will provide a copy of our signed contract once we have the company secured. Storage, we do not plan to have any outdoor storage. Items to be stored on site and in buildings includes, but is not limited to mowers, maintenance equipment, decorations, tables, chairs, etc. Transportation. Entrances and exits to the site. There are currently 4 existing driveways to the site, 2 off Clinton Trail, 1 off Stewart Road, and 1 off from South Perky Road. The existing driveways will be used as follows. On Site C1, the South Stewart Road, this existing driveway will be used as a truck entrance. This existing driveway is used as a truck entrance for the surface mine. We will keep this driveway to be used as a service entrance only. This driveway will be gated. Eaton County Central Dispatch, local police, and fire will have access to this drive at all times. This driveway does not have curb and gutter. The driveway is not paved. C2, East Clinton Trail, the existing driveway will be removed. C3, East Clinton Trail, this existing driveway is used for the surface mine operation. This driveway will serve as the main and public entrance to the site. There is curb and gutter. The right-of-way entrance of this driveway is paved. Sheet C6, South Perky Road. This is the existing driveway access to the existing home. The driveway will be used for rental of the home on this property and employees only. It will not be used for general entrance to the rest of the venue. This driveway does not have curb and gutter but is paved. Anticipated traffic for C2. During the first year, we plan to have the barn proposed on Plan C2 constructed and operational. The occupancy load of the proposed building will be under 100 persons. Therefore, our anticipated traffic is less than 50 vehicles per event. The parking plan is shown on the site plan. 50 9x20 parking spaces will be provided. The parking area will be gravel with the exception of the accessible parking spaces, which will be paved. Sheet C3, after complete construction of the cabins, we anticipate up to 2 vehicles per cabin for a total of 48 vehicles. The parking area will be gravel. Each space will be 9 foot by 20. C4, the main event venue will be constructed to accommodate up to 800 persons. We have parking planned for 220 vehicles. The parking area will be gravel with the exception of the accessible parking spaces, which will be paved. Each space will be 9 foot by 20. Sheet C6, the parking provided for the smaller venue is up to 32 spaces. Accessible parking is available on the paved area near the home. Each space will be 9 foot by 20. Applicant states there is an existing conditional use permit for the property. They state CU 923-4 allows for the operation of a surface mine from all of the properties included in this application. Crandall Brothers Trucking has not mined the property since the spring of 2025. We are actively working on the reclamation of the property with plans to be complete in the spring of 2026. The reclamation of the property will not affect any of the proposed structures or uses. The applicants state this request should be granted because an event venue of this size does not exist in Eaton County. We do not anticipate any negative impacts on public facilities, schools, police, fire, etc. We also do not expect negative impact to our surrounding property owners. We plan to be good neighbors, which is why we are proposing to keep the existing berms that were installed for the operation of the surface mine. We believe that the proposed use of the property will have less of an impact on our neighbors. They will no longer have issues with dust and noise from the operation of the mine. Trees will be planted on the property currently addressed as 3861 East Clinton Trail. The trees will be part of our tree farm and act as an additional buffer for our neighbors located off from South Perky Road. This event venue should increase the surrounding property values. It will bring people into Eaton County, increasing the economy of Eaton County. We believe this venue will bring in more tax value than the construction of single-family homes. We are excited to host many community events in the very near future. I'm nowhere near done, sorry. Just so that I do not forget it, this 33 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. I did receive one written response again on Friday due to our email firewall. It was originally sent on Thursday. I did not receive it till Friday. It is sent by Suzanne Hamilton. We are writing with concerns, questions regarding the zoning and property use changes requested by CP1 LLC, The Quarry LLC, Chad Crandall, Randolph Crandall, and Adam and Haley Avenshine. We stopped in your office on September 30th and reviewed the file with details of the proposed commercial recreation facility. Unfortunately, you were not available to discuss this, and the office staff suggested we email our concerns and questions to you. 1, the proposed amphitheater. As we live directly across the street from 710 South Perky Road, we are concerned about the noise level that would impact us being so close. We previously lived near a venue that offered musical entertainment and could hear the music even though we lived further away than the proposed location. Also, the venue had music only until 8 p.m. In the proposal, it states music, etc. events would end by 11 p.m., and it appears there are no current noise restrictions in place. One of the reasons we moved to the country was for quiet and decreased noise levels. We know from experience that noise does travel, even with the berms and trees. Item 2, security. In the proposal, there was no indication of how security would be handled. With Eaton County no longer providing road patrols, how will traffic, surrounding properties, and neighbors, attendees at the events considering anticipated large groups of people and availability of alcohol, etc., be handled? There seems to be a limited amount of staffing listed in the proposal, and we are concerned about security at the venue, and especially the surrounding neighborhood. We would like to know more about the security plan for the proposed short-term rentals in various areas on the property as well. Will staff be staying on property 24 hours when rental units are occupied? Thank you for your consideration and concerns regarding this matter. Brian and Susan Hamilton of 747 South Perky Road. The application was sent out for site plan review. I have to keep the microphone close to me or Tammy gets mad. The Road Commission commented, I've reviewed the above-mentioned conditional use permit application and recommend the CUP require the following. 1, the driveway off from Stewart Road be improved to commercial driveway standards and a permit applied for and secured from the Eaton County Road Commission. We have no record of a driveway permit being issued for this driveway. I also recommend the CUP specify that this is a service driveway only and the permitted uses of the driveway. Item 2, the driveway off Perky should not be permitted to serve more than the home and employees. It is shown on the site plan to serve a 32 parking space area for the amphitheater, which should be served from the main entrance of the driveway. Item 3, the driveway off from Perky should be improved to commercial driveway standards and a permit applied for and secured from the Eaton County Road Commission. This is currently a single home and residential driveway. Item number 4, additional right-of-way be dedicated along Stewart Road. Stewart Road is a primary road. This provides additional public right-of-way for facilities that typically follow commercial developments. Item 2, staff did clarify with the Road Commission that those parking spaces are not for the amphitheater. The building official commented, all proposed structures are required to comply with the 2021 State of Michigan Building Code. As such, all structures are required to be designed by a licensed design professional, architect, or engineer. With proper plan review, permits, and inspections, there are no concerns. MDOT commented, thank you for sending this to MDOT for review. MDOT does not have any comments or concerns for the parcels being combined. As part of this proposed development, MDOT would request that a traffic impact study be completed and submitted to MDOT for review. Any impacts to the intersections of M50 and Stewart Road and M50 and Perky Road should be included in the study as well. Berry Eaton District Health Department approved and commented. The application for the proposed event center, The Quarry, has been reviewed by our department and the complete application response is attached. We are approving this from our end to move forward with obtaining necessary well septic permits. We will continue to be in communication with Eagle also to discuss any permitting necessary through their agency. The reason for approval of the application is stated as follows. As stated in the application, the applicants are aware of the requirements of obtaining all necessary well septic permits through the Berry Eaton District Health Department. The applicants are currently working with Berry Eaton District Health Department to obtain all necessary permits for Phase 1. Recommended conditions are continue to work with both Berry Eaton District Health Department and Eagle Departments to determine and apply for all necessary permits as the project continues moving forward. Charlotte Fire Department commented, in addition to the Charlotte Fire Department's comments, page 9 of the staff report, that's after staff comments, has a site plan that was marked up by the Charlotte Fire Department, indicating some of the items that they are recommending. We have reviewed and approved the application as presented. However, to ensure compliance with applicable fire and life safety codes, the following conditions are required to be incorporated into the final site plan. Item 1, occupancy classification. Both the 75-foot and 60-foot pole building and the 18,000 square foot main event rental building are classified as assembly spaces. This requires engineered drawings for a sprinkler system with the fire department connection, FDC, along with fire alarm notification systems, riser room locations. Drawings must be submitted and approved by the Charlotte Fire Department before issuance of a building permit through Eaton County. Item 2, fire alarm monitoring. The main event building's fire alarm notification system must be monitored 24/7 by a third-party service. Item 3, emergency gate access. All gates on the property must be equipped with either a knockbox or knockbox paddle lock for emergency access. Any automated gates located on the private drives must also be equipped with a knockbox gate opener, a knockbox gate switch, part number 3502. Item 4, driveways and addressing. All driveways must be engineered and constructed as private roads per Eaton County zoning standards. Each private road must have a unique name, and all buildings must have a separate address clearly visible from the street, as defined in Section 304.3 of the International Property Maintenance Code. Item 5, directional signage. The applicant's inclusion of directional signage is appreciated, as this will greatly assist first responders during an emergency. Item 6, fire lane. A designated fire lane must be constructed off from the Perky Road entrance to provide fire apparatus access to the island area. This lane shall be located off the north of the existing house and secured with a gate at Perky Road. See attached markup on the drawing. Walkway with amphitheater. The gravel walkway to the island, as well as the gravel path surrounding the island, must be widened to a minimum of 20 feet to meet the fire code requirement for a fire lane width and to allow for the anticipated occupancy load for the island. Item 8, fire lane amphitheater. A separate pathway on the same bridge area needs to be constructed to allow for emergency vehicle and personnel access in case of emergency. The fire lane can be covered with gravel if a hard base is built. The lane must be a minimum of 10 feet wide. This will allow for emergency response to the island when attendees are leaving the island on the designated gravel path. Item 9, fire FDC location, main event building. The FDC connection for the main event rental building must be located adjacent to the loading ramp for ease of access by fire personnel. See the attached markup drawing. Item 10, hydrant placement. A fire hydrant must be installed on the cul-de-sac outside of the main event rental building. It shall be supplied from the same water source as the building's fire suppression system and connected to the same fire pump. See attached drawing. Item 11, occupant load, island area. The current single access point to the island results in an allowable occupant load of 3,000 people per IFC 10330.6.3.08 factor. Expanding the gravel path to 20 feet will provide 240 inches of egress width, which supports this calculated occupant load. Item 12, fire lane pole building. A fire lane is required adjacent to the 75 by 60 pole building in accordance with IFC 503.1.1. The lane must allow access within 150 feet of all portions of the building, be 20 feet wide, and be constructed to the fire code specifications. See attached drawing. Item 13, cul-de-sac turnaround radius. The cul-de-sac near the 24 small rental units must provide a minimum turning radius of 96 feet per Appendix D of the IFC, specifically subsection D102.1. Item 14, a boat launch. The Charlotte Fire Department is requesting that a boat launch be installed near the Stewart Road service entrance. The boat launch can be of minimal design, but allow for a small rescue boat to be launched if needed in an emergency. See attached marked up drawing. These conditions are necessary to ensure compliance with the International Fire Code and related standards and to provide safe access and facilities for public. Thank you for support and attention to these standards and to provide it and to these matters. Please feel free to contact our office should you require further clarification or additional information. Eaton Township Board considered the request and approved it, and then the Eaton Conservation District commented. The Board of Directors for the Eaton Conservation District met on September 30th, 2025 to discuss this application and have the following comment to contribute. Recommend denial for the following issues. 1, hydraulic information necessary to assess the potential environmental impact, Eaton County Zoning Ordinance Section 8.4.3D, Item 6, of the creation of the proposed lake, wetland, stream, and other water bodies proximate to the site were not included in the application. Item 2, application does not provide information required by Zoning Ordinance Section 8.6.8. Specific regulations, the Eaton County Land Development Code. The definition per Zoning Ordinance Section 5.3.3C, commercial rec facility, is included in the staff report, as is general requirements for approval 9.6.3, items A through E for the Planning Commission. This property is master planned as agricultural preservation, which does fall in line with the current zoning of the property as limited agricultural. Staff comments. A commercial rec facility is a permitted use in a limited agricultural zone district with a conditional use permit. Zoning Ordinance Section 5.3.3C defines a commercial recreational facility as an indoor-outdoor recreational facility operated as a business and open to the public for a fee. Such facility must be located near a major travel corridor or natural feature. A commercial recreational facility may include, but is not limited to, campgrounds, riding stables, rental cottages, swimming beaches, boat rentals, shooting preserves, and athletic fields. Currently, the property has a conditional use permit for the operation of a service mine per Zoning Ordinance Section 14.25. The operation has been in the reclamation phase since last year. Staff performed the annual surface mine inspection on September 28th. No violations were found. In addition to the Planning Commission considering an application per Zoning Ordinance 9.3.6, basis of the Planning Commission decision shown on pages 7 and 8 of this report, the application is sent out for site plan review to several agencies to comply with Zoning Ordinance Section 8.6, Standards for Site Plan Review Approval, which requires a review of surface water drainage, driveway, traffic safety, fire safety, and emergency, soil erosion and sedimentation, public health, water, sewer, waste removal, and state and federal statutes. The agency responses begin on page 4 of this report. The applicants have received all responses and are actively working with all agencies to address the requirements from the reviews. Eaton Conservation District recommends denial of the application, citing Zoning Ordinance Section 8.4.3D and 8.6.8. Zoning Ordinance Section 8.4.3, Site Plan states, each application for site plan review shall be accompanied by a specific number of copies of the site plan determined by the development official, and the site plan shall consist of the following materials unless specifically waived as not applicable by the development official. Staff reviewed the site plan and found it to be in compliance for the requested use. Zoning Ordinance Section 8.6.8 states state and federal statutes. The proposed site plan shall conform with applicable state and federal statutes. The lake is shown on the site plan. The creation of the lake falls to the current surface mine operation under CU 923-4. Eagle is aware of the mine and proposed lake. Eagle has not commented on any of the site plan reviews for the surface mine application. On sheet C3 of the site plan, the applicants propose to construct a construct 24 cabins. Per the application, 2 private roads will be constructed for access to the proposed cabins. The Planning Commission may wish to require the proposed cabins to be constructed in a manner where if the business closes, the property could be divided so that the home is located on a conforming parcel with structures complying with lot coverage and required setbacks to the right-of-way side and rear property lines. Staff would be comfortable with an updated site plan being submitted prior to construction of the private road and cabins. Per staff conversations with Eaton Township, they are in favor of this suggestion. Per the zoning ordinance, parking requirements for a commercial rec facility are 1 space for each 4 persons of maximum occupancy. The occupancy of each structure cannot be determined until drawings for the structures are received. The site plan shows 330 parking spaces with room for overflow parking if needed. The parking areas are well off the right-of-way. On sheet C3 of the site plan, the applicant show a proposed monument sign located 20 feet from the East Clinton Trail right-of-way. There are no details given for the sign. Per zoning ordinance section 11.10, permanent sign table, the proposed monument sign can be up to 24 square feet in size and up to 8 feet tall and located at the right-of-way. The Planning Commission may wish to use section 9.3.6 and 5.3.3C included in the staff report to determine if this business meets zoning ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. And that completes my staff report.
Does anyone have any questions for staff? Sure, Tim.
I'd like to, about the Conservation District comments, I'd like to know a little bit more about that. The property to the north, I think, is cropland, and I'm not aware really of any wetlands around this property.
There are no wetlands around the property. They're referring to the lake that has always been proposed as the reclamation plan for the actual surface mine operation. A surface mine has operated from this property since 2003, and the lake has always been in the plan for that. As the Planning Commission is aware, previously surface mines had to get renewal from the Planning Commission every 5 years, which means the operators applied for a new application and that was sent out to site plan review. Eagle has always received the application for site plan review but has never responded.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and if they want to expound on any of that or answer any questions?
I'm sorry, Brian.
You want to come up and,
Thanks, Board. Thanks, Brandy, for reading that off. My name is Chad Crandall. I'm here on behalf of the Quarry LLC, and I stand in front of you now as the sole proprietor now of the property that we've been talking about here. That's been the existing pit out there at M50 and Stewart and Perky there for the last almost over 20 years, I guess it's been now. So, as was read, we've concluded mining operations there. It's been a good run. It's been a wonderful mine for the for the business, for the community, and for all the aggregate. We're thankful for that. So we're excited as we moved into this, hopefully the next phase for the property. The quarry, we think it's aptly named, moving forward for what the historical use of the property was. Just a little bit of background. You see a lot of names involved with the project, and so myself as the landowner and owner and developer, along with Dean Levitt and Tom Stark. Dean Levitt lives in the home on Perky Road that's been built. It's the newer home. And then the Davis house is the house that we've remodeled there off of M50. Our managers, the missing component, I'm not a venue guy. I manage sand and gravel. I don't do venues. That's not me. But what we've been really fortunate with is to have the Auvenshine family come on, Adam and Haley. They've been managing Hidden Creek Farms, their own farm out on Vermontville Highway for a number of years successfully. Worked really well with their neighbors in all kinds of situations as far as weddings and concerts and ongoing events. And we're excited because of their presence in the community, their involvement in the project, because of their responsiveness to the people that are surrounding the project. So, you know, if you have any questions, I'd love to bring them up. If you have questions as far as the management aspect of the facility and what that entails, but I just would like to add, that was a lot of information. We've been through this, you know, all the things that the staff comments have reviewed, all the different departments. We've been through each and every one of those items, and we don't contest any of those. We're willing to, everything that you see in front of you, we have reviewed, and we have no problem with in working with those departments. There's some, you know, health department, we're working with those guys. Everything that's been read, we're working with those departments and don't contest any of the questions that have come up. So I'll shut up. Enough has been said. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. I also have Dave Todd, who is our general contractor, who can answer technical questions on any of the buildings. And then I'd be happy to introduce Haley and Adam as the general managers if you have questions for them. But if I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to.
Just to confirm and double check, all of the Charlotte Fire Department concerns, you're okay with those, all the fire lanes and everything?
We are.
Okay, good.
Yeah, real quick, the only thing that we talked about is adding another driveway on Perky Road, whether or not that would be in the best interest or whether or not we should.
In the fire department, if you look at your sketch that was supplied by the fire department, they're requesting a emergency access north of the existing home on Perky that would be solely for accessing the island. I'm not sure they were aware that the entrance was going to be improved just south of the home, and that would provide, I believe that would probably provide the access that they're looking for to the island. If that's the case, great. If they say no, we would just assume have both, then that's okay too. But we will, you know, we'd like to at least talk to them about that to see if the commercial entrance being applied for south is adequate. If not, then we're okay with it as proposed by them. So, yep.
I would like to know if that island where the amphitheater is going to be is existing or going to be built up.
So right now, the island is there, and it will be located on that island. So it's not there, and it will be constructed in the future. I think we've got it slated for '26 if all goes well.
But the island is there.
The island is there, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And you know, I'd like to also note that on the, for the fire comments from the fire department, that the widening and the improvement for the access to the island has already been made.
Are there any provisions for short-term parking for RVs or motorhomes that might be associated with any of the events?
You know, those would probably either fall into the proposed parking spaces that are there, or there's going to be a lot of open grass spaces for overflow parking that would probably, there would be available, or the space would be there for them, but it really hasn't, I don't think there's a specific designation for those on the plans.
And no electric or something for?
No
hookup
hookups or anything like that proposed, no.
Thank you.
For clarification, Commissioner Hanson, they would not be allowed to stay overnight on the property as they are not proposing a campground or a campground license.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, Scott.
Any other questions of the applicant? Does anyone have any questions for Chad's entourage?
We're open if, at any time, I'm local, these folks with me are local. If at any point in the future, if anybody wants to tour the facility, we're happy to accommodate. During the day, the evenings, we're around all the time. So I think it's really beneficial to be on the site to see how it fits. It was mentioned that the berming that's around the property, and I think that's very key, is that the berming that was put in place to provide sound barrier and protection from the neighborhood from the mining operations is left in place. And that, you know, I think that's a really nice feature, kind of a built-in feature for this type of facility, so that things are contained on site. And I think that's a really added advantage to what we've got going on. So, but there again, I'm happy to. We're happy to. If anybody would like to do a site tour, we're happy to do that. But I appreciate your time.
Chair, Chair Ross, if Adam and Haley are the operations managers and the written response from a neighboring property owner may fall to them to respond to those concerns? And they are the applicants.
On a personal note, it's these folks' 14th wedding anniversary, and they took time to be here tonight, so I very much appreciate them taking their time out to do that.
Thank you, Chad. Hello, I'm Adam Auvenshine. This is my wife Haley Auvenshine. And yes, we wanted to address that letter from the Hamiltons. I actually had the privilege of talking to them for about 45 minutes today, so thank you guys. Found out they love the Eagles, so you know what? The music group, the Eagles. But really, I think our big thing is to answer those concerns, because I know certain people have those concerns. They were brought up before at the other meeting. We've had other people say those to us. Main thing was noise, right? When you hear concert, you hear amphitheater, you hear all this, you're just thinking Kid Rock's out there at the highest decibels possible till 1 a.m., right? So just so you guys know how we operate our business, and what's so great why Chad brought us in here too is we're a family, and we have always ran our businesses that way in the aspect of we respect those around us. You know, beforehand, we started anything, we walked up and down the neighborhood, tried to catch as many people as what we could before we ever had our first meeting, just to go and tell them what we were looking at doing, what we're proposing. So if there was any questions or concerns firsthand, you can hear it right from the horse's mouth, if you will. So that was our goal, and we had a great chance to talk to a lot of the neighbors around and got a lot of good feedback, you know. Nothing of negative, but concern, which talking with the Hamiltons makes absolutely sense. You know, I got 3 kids myself, and the last thing I would want is some crazy thing going on across the road that's going to disrupt your daily life. So our thing and our conversation, and we'd say that to anybody that has questions, is feel free to get a hold of us at any time. But also our whole thing is we're not going to do this every single night of the week. When we're talking events, we're talking things, we're event-based. So we are not going to have 3,000 people on the island Monday through Friday. All right, this is event-based only. Most of our events are going to be that 300 to 350 people, weddings, different events. We host the pregnancy centers. We host the food pantry events. We do a lot of community-oriented events as well. So our whole thing is just to be a shining light. That's why we started Hidden Creek Farms years ago, was to be a good light in the community, bring people together, and be a good aspect, not to take away, but to only add. So my hope and my prayer is that all the neighbors around see the value in what we do. They come over and enjoy what we're putting together, and any concerns, we handle them. Just like we did today, a phone call, a conversation goes a long way, and that's how we operate. We love to be very transparent with things. We got a great group of people that we're working with, and so pretty much everything that you heard in that very lengthy thing, we have big dreams, you guys, and Eaton County, why not have a wonderful place here? We deserve it. We have great people around here, and we're in that generation that we want to see things continue to succeed. We're born and raised here our whole lives. We've dedicated a lot to this town, and we continue to do that. We're just blessed to have a much bigger spot, you know, and working with these guys, it's awesome. So we are very blessed. We're here to answer any questions, and yeah, we're excited to get this project going, you guys. Yeah. Oh, security too, that was the other one. So the security thing is, last week I brought out, there's a group called Total Security. If you guys aren't familiar with them, I've used them before. They're out of Grand Ledge. Very great people, do large events. And so we had an on-site evaluation before anything's ever built, anything. I'm showing them the plans, everything. We walked the entire grounds, concerns that were brought up from neighbors, different things. How you do anything's how you do everything. So for a 50-person baby shower, I'm probably not going to have 18 guys in black suits, right? But if we are doing those larger events, absolutely, 100% is guest safety first and foremost. People coming well and leaving well, and the security around. For the size of the property, I don't see any wandering off, if you will. We're very hands-on. We don't hand the keys over to anybody and just say, here's the facility. We're hands-on from start to finish. So we're there when they receive and come in, and we're there to escort them out at the end of the night. So there's eyes on pretty much everybody. There's a lot of stuff around there, but we're excited to take on this. And as far as the security thing, I feel pretty confident that the events that we do, we're not bringing in that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
How was, you said you talked to the neighbors that wrote the letter about, how was that handled and how do you plan on dealing with that, with the noise and stuff?
Hamiltons have my direct number, and I told them the very first event we ever do, hopefully they're there, but just like we did with our neighbors when we started Hidden Creek, I'll call them. Hey, how is it? You know, I work with a sound company. I've worked with them the last 9 years. We're very conscious of that kind of stuff. So the sound company we work out with is Audio Logic DJ. He's been our guy forever. He's very conscious. He knows all that. I'm not a techie guy, so I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I do know it's well below what you're able to do, if you will. Not every event's gonna go until 11 o'clock and midnight. There's other events that do get done at, 8, 10 o'clock. So those are the exception, I would say.
I think it's also important to note that the main entrance will be off of M50, off of East Clinton Trail. So we will not have traffic coming off of Stewart or Perky Road, turning in and out with lights in our neighbors' windows or anything like that. So everything should be very well contained within the property, which helps us with security, the coming and going of people, making sure everyone's getting home safely, so.
Any other questions?
If it would be a music event, would you, like, set a maximum decibel level or anything like that?
I mean, absolutely. Like I said, I'm not the sound guy. Everything that we do is well below that, if that makes sense. I don't know the exact hertz or how it works, but it does not exceed the maximum of what you could be. That makes sense.
Okay.
My neighbors didn't hear anything at our other place, but that was just something that we always took into consideration on every level.
We're here to be good neighbors and to be conscientious of the people around us. And most of our events are very family-friendly too. So, we take that into consideration. We don't want our kids, having their ears blown out or anything like that. So keep in mind where we're coming from and the types of events that we'd love to create for you all and invite you all to.
Okay, if there's no more questions, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. Anyone else like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Okay, seeing none, we'll open the public, or close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
Chair Ross, hearing their response to the Hamilton's concern with security, the Planning Commission could recommend a condition that a contract with a security company be in place as part of the conditional use permit.
You got any thoughts?
Are we concerned about the traffic study at all? MDOT mentioned a traffic study, and that was not discussed.
I'm not sure about that.
The applicants are already underway working with MDOT. They are aware that that traffic study could require a turning lane to be installed or larger tapers or wider. Every response that was received for site plan review, they have been willing and have exceeded the expectations and already contacting those agencies to comply.
Thank you.
We've worked with Chad enough, he followed through on everything he said before, so I have no question that he'll take care of things that need to be done.
I would like to point out that within the staff report, I, on purpose, under staff comments, addressed Zoning ordinance section 9.3.6. I put that in the staff report because there's been a lot of consideration lately when the road commission is asking for requirements, or if the health department is asking for requirements. It's actually a requirement of the planning commission to consider those requirements in order to protect those certain functions. So public water, public sewer, drain fields, and driveways and roadways as well.
Anyone have any other questions, concerns?
So Brandy is telling us we don't need to specify meeting all those requirements that everybody mentioned?
I am telling you that you should specify that they need to meet the requirements as specified.
I don't think that's a problem. I mean, normally I think we do or assume that they're there when, but we can reiterate it. I don't see a problem with it.
I think we've usually, when there's something that needs to be documented, change the site plan, usually staff is comfortable just having a updated site plan submitted post our approval, which I think would address the fire lanes and all of those things that would be on an updated site plan.
That is correct. The fire department would be looking for their updated engineered site plan showing what they're requesting, not just drawn on there. In addition, the location of the cabins, no different than Sunnycrest, no different than Sherwood Forest Campground. Those are placed in a manner to where if the property ever needed to be divided, that it could and would be conforming to property standards and setbacks.
Discussion, anything, any thoughts, any concerns?
Trying to think how to formulate it. Got a lot to include here.
Frank?
I guess I would just say, I've been at the Hidden Creek venue several times now, and that's always run very professional and enjoyable, from Farm Bureau meeting to, he mentioned pregnancy center fundraiser thing. Yeah, they stay on top of everything I've noticed, yeah.
I want to run a car show at this place.
Sure. Scott?
Yes, looks like it's being well planned out and everything, and it's something that we need in this area that we lack as far as venues for weddings and other events that take place here locally, and I think it will be a great help to our economy and stuff in the area too, so I'm looking forward to seeing it to completion.
Anyone ready to? Please do.
We'll give it a shot. All right, I move we approve CU-10-25-9 with the conditions that a updated site plan be submitted that satisfies all concerns from those entities that did review and provide comments, the original site plan. That said site plan must also show that the cabins are constructed in such a way that they could be sold and separated separately should this facility close in the future, including compliance with all required setbacks and rights of way, and rear and side property lines. I think that's it. Am I missing anything?
Support.
Did you wish to address the contract for security?
Oh, sure, yes, also that a copy of the security contract be submitted when that is secured.
Still have the support, right, Scott?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we have a motion support. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, might as well add the contract for the trash. Might as well have all the contracts signed and ready.
Would that be a friendly amendment?
Yeah, no concerns.
Scotty, you still good?
Sure.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Pat Hansen,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Your conditional use permit application has been approved, but this is the beginning to a very long project. Please reach out to me Friday, late morning, so we can discuss next steps. I've already spoken with Dave. We're hoping to have the plan review applied for, so we can review the sealed drawings for the proposed pole barn and the foundation of the event center, starting on that.
Thank you, board.
Okay. Do we have any farmland preservation applications?
We do not.
Okay. Other business?
Before we go on to the 2026 meeting schedule, as the Planning Commission is aware, the Public Works and Human Services Committee directed the Planning Commission to hold a public hearing to discuss rescinding the zoning ordinance in its entirety. That public hearing has been scheduled for October 28th at 6:00 p.m. Because we do not know whether or not the zoning ordinance will be rescinded,
Oh, I'm sorry, what, Jeremy, would you mind catching that? I thought you were leaving, I'm sorry.
because it is not yet rescinded, it is still on your agenda to review and make a decision on a 2026 meeting schedule. The Zoning Board of Appeals did approve the meeting schedule as is in your packet.
So has everybody heard that, or so they know? Sure that Rankin's got,
I lost focus when you yelled about the door.
I personally called each board member.
That.
Okay,
Which body, I'm sorry, has requested this hearing?
committee of the Board of Commissioners.
That's what I thought.
So could we get, motion that we accept this for our meeting schedule for 2026?
So move.
We have a motion support. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. We have a calendar for the planning commission for next year if necessary. Next on the agenda, reports, construction code and planning. I see we have that in our,
Yes, I actually provided it this month.
anything you want to highlight?
Our construction permits are up, as are our inspections. They're starting to level out from where they had been, so that's good news. We have I think we have 6 new homes without looking at it again, and 15 manufactured homes that went in last month in Eaton County, so within our jurisdiction alone.
Any questions for staff on the construction code and planning report? Okay, zoning ordinance committee.
If planning and zoning continues, the Zoning Board of Appeals did meet this evening. These are going to kind of tie in together. They heard a variance for a lakefront property, which can be very difficult. It's a property that's in a plat from 1941. The property itself is legally described as .05 acres as physical property surveyed, but then goes on to say also extends to water's edge. And that can't be quantified because the lake shoreline moves quite often depending on the environment. So If zoning were to continue, the Zoning Board of Appeals did ask the Zoning Ordinance Committee to consider looking at different setback language specifically for waterfront properties. They did approve the variance request, by the way.
That could be sticky, a sticky subject.
And we did not have a zoning ordinance committee meeting this month.
We did not, and until we know, I'm not going to have one.
Board of Appeals, you discussed that already. Public comments, there are none, because they're, unless Jeremy wants to public comment us. Upcoming cases, there are no applicants for November?
There are no applications at this point. There are no applicants for the November 4th meeting. However, I believe I already have 5 conditional use permit applications for the December 2nd meeting, and I may be speaking with the chair to discuss scheduling a special meeting either for the very next day or possibly for the following week, just so we can make sure everybody is heard in a timely manner that wishes to be heard.
Okay. Anything for the good of cause?
I just want to get a little more clarity on this meeting we're having on the 28th. What is our goal with the meeting?
The goal is for the Planning Commission to hold the public hearing to get the public input on the consideration of rescinding the zoning ordinance in its entirety. The Planning Commission will then make a recommendation to Public Works and Human Services, that is our subcommittee that we report to, or that the Planning Commission reports to. It's a subcommittee of the Board of Commissioners. Public Works and Human Services would then report to the Board of Commissioners the Planning Commission's recommendation. So I would expect there's going to be public here, and there may be township members here that will be speaking under public comment.
Thank you.
I've also asked the chairman of the Board of Commissioners to come and if there were questions, so Jim is planning on being here. Jim is planning on being here also. That helped. Sorry, I was looking at the map earlier and I didn't move back. So he's planning on coming here to answer any questions. He did not make that meeting, but he will suggest what's going on. And are you on it, Frank? Are you on committee?
Which one are you referring to?
Public Works and Human Services.
No, I'm not.
Are you, Scott?
Yes, I'm on Public Works.
Okay. So you'll be able to answer any questions that we ask on that too then. Great. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion support to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?